So in just under a month, I have the largest market that I currently do, which is Makers and Shakers, coming up in Melbourne. It's first weekend in September, and I have a lot that I want to get finished before then. So I thought I would share what goes into getting organised and designing a new collection, getting new work, deciding what products to do, all of that. So I thought I'd bring you along as I develop a new collection, which I'm wanting to illustrate a Zodiac collection. So that's 12 illustrations. I also have a number of other illustrations that I want to get finished before then, and I have to then obviously make the products from those illustrations. So I mainly do art prints, bookmarks, postcards, stickers, greeting cards. So yeah, they're my kind of current stock plans. So yeah, I thought I'd start documenting kind of what goes on behind the scenes when you are preparing for a new market. So along with all the normal kind of market prep stuff that happens when you have a big market coming up, like checking your stock levels, checking if I need to order new ink for my art print printer, deciding what other products I need to order that need to be printed beforehand. I'm also designing this collection, this Zodiac collection. Now I may not have a whole collection with me at Makers and Shakers because I am pretty strapped for time, but I'm going to do my best. So I've been planning over the last month or so in my art journal how I wanted this collection to look, collecting reference photos, designing the layout, and what I wanted to include on the art prints, and planning it out. So now I've started working on a couple of them. And yeah, I'm just going to do as much as I possibly can in the next couple of weeks. My artwork has been developing and changing this year. I'm really happy with the direction it's going. It is making it a bit slower. My detail is increasing, my layers are increasing. I feel like that is coming out with a better outcome, but it does mean that everything's taking a bit longer. Also, because I'm a self-taught artist, sometimes I don't know how things work and they take longer, or sometimes I'm just seeing if that color works and I have to change it. So I guess it's just experience, and as time goes on you get better at it, and your style evolves and changes throughout your lifetime. One of the great joys about being a self-taught artist or just creative in any way, I think, is sometimes just giving it a go and seeing what happens. I really enjoy making art, and I want to figure out a way that I can make a living from it, and I want to figure out a way where I can complete collections and have them accessible for people to buy, and make things that people love too, just like I love making it. And sometimes I make the things that I want on my walls as well. So it's always interesting figuring out what other people are gonna like. And sometimes some of my favorite illustrations are the ones that don't do the best, but then some that I almost don't release can do really well. So it's really always a bit of a surprise. So one of the risks of wanting to design a whole collection for Makers and Shakers around the Zodiac is that it's possible that it's not going to sell that well. And then I've spent the whole month developing like a collection and all the products around it that might not work out. So there's that kind of anxiety there as well. Sometimes I can get in my own head and I overthink things, and I get worried that it's not going to work, or my ideas are not well developed enough, or I don't have anything new to offer, or all those like inner critic stuff, and that can slow down my actual creative process. It can mean that a week goes by and I haven't developed that much actual art. Sometimes my pain is flaring as well. Last week I had a house inspection, so I had a lot of cleaning and my hands flared up and I was in a lot of pain and I couldn't do that much art. All these things that go into running a creative business, and I'm still learning it all as well. I'm not at that point where I feel like my systems are in place, or that I am making a reliable income, or that I'm where I would like to be, but I am figuring it out, which is great. Sometimes I think as well, it's just knowing that you're progressing, that you're improving. Especially as a self-taught artist, there are times where I feel like nothing's really happening with my art and I'm not sure about the direction of it, and then it's only through making lots of new art that I can really stop and look and see that my skills are improving and getting to the point where I want them to be, that I can then make the type of stuff that I want to make. I don't think people talk enough about how much mindset and finding community and figuring out your own systems and processes and ways to develop ideas are so important in being an artist or a creative business of any kind, because it can be very isolating and you're working in a very different way than someone who's turning up at a job, a 9 to 5, and working that. One of my favorite things about doing markets in Melbourne, the markets that I do are filled with other wonderful creatives and interesting people, and it's just so lovely to connect with them. You see work that they're making and how they're doing, and sometimes it's also reassuring to know if your sales have been a bit down and you're like, is it because my art isn't any good, or have I not thought about my product well enough, and really that can just be a state of the economy. So for Makers and Shakers in a month, I really want to rejig my stall setup a bit and give it a bit of thought about how to develop how to showcase my work better. So that's something that I'll be looking at in a few weeks' time. But for this week and possibly going into next week, I'm really focusing on getting as much artwork finished as possible. Since I've filmed this video over about a week, I now have about 3 weeks left until Makers and Shakers, and this week I have drawn the lines and done the underpainting of at least 3 Zodiac illustrations, and I've worked more on some of the half-finished illustrations that I've had sitting there as well. So definitely progress is happening, but I'm still a long way off having 12 illustrations, so I'm just going to go for as many as I can manage in the time I have. Sometimes an artwork stalls as well because you're not really sure where to go next, and there is a degree of kind of percolation time, I think, with ideas and creative ideas in general that needs to happen. So I'm trying to be okay with the fact that things take time, and sometimes the idea or the time frame that we have in our mind, especially if you're ADHD like me, is slightly optimistic and missing like a lot of the important parts of how time works because I miss all the transition periods. I miss all of sometimes just how long things take, and I have more ideas than I have time. That's just how my brain works. So I've been working on finishing off some of my half-done illustrations that have been sitting there for a while and just haven't resolved for a whole range of different reasons, whether it was that I've been in pain or I just haven't been feeling it. So here's some purple plants that I'm working on. I love drawing botanicals as well as drawing women, which I've been drawing a lot of lately. So yeah, this is kind of just very slow pencil work is, and I enjoy the outcome so much. It looks so great. It's always worth the time, but sometimes I do wish that I found a faster and quicker way to do work like this. I've been working over this year a lot in my art journal, it's the first time that I've really given myself permission to develop ideas in there and have it be messy, and just see how far the idea goes, and that's how the Zodiac collection has come about. I've gone through and really messily drawn in different sketches and figuring out what I wanted to do, how I wanted it to sit and look and work together, and ideally I'm hoping to turn it into other products afterwards. So I'm really excited to explore this new idea. I want to show some of my how I develop the collection. I want to share how much thought goes into it, how much research goes into it, and also how many things might not work out. So whether at the end of it I will have a full Zodiac collection to take with me to Makers and Shakers, I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm happy and excited to be sharing this with you.